I wanted to ask you, as someone who's interested in horror, recently we've seen there's been films like The Black Phone and obviously series like You, where there's been this kind of idealization of the villain, and in society we seem to have this fascination with things we're afraid of or we don't understand. And I would like to ask you, if you weren't at the mercy of Pooh and Piglet here, and you were, kind of watching this as just as a fan, would you experience any empathy? They were left behind, they were stuck. And society, I've seen, people have been talking about how cool it is that Pooh and Piglet have again, different takes and different things, but society tends to be fascinated with these darker characters, and their motivations and their backstories and things like that. And I wonder, are you able to separate yourself and directly? Sorry, I've asked this question twice now. That's my ADHD brain. Would you feel empathy for these characters if you weren't involved?
Yeah, so I am the worst for this because I am the biggest empath. And I will watch, I watched the Ted Bundy film and I started sympathizing with the serial killer. And I was like, what's wrong with me?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. Every time I watch a film, I don't know why, I can always relate because I'm like, well, they had a tough childhood or they were bullied. They weren't born evil. But that's just me as Amber, and when I'm an actor I have to switch that off and be like, no, they're bad people, we don't like them. But as soon as we stop rolling, I'm just sat there like, oh, poor Pooh and Piglet, they were abandoned, what else were they supposed to do? So yeah, definitely when I'm watching films, I do have a terrible tendency to sympathize with the villains, which I know I shouldn't. But at the end of the day, I do feel like a lot of people have tough lives and some people deal with it well and some people don't. And that's just humankind. And I try not to judge.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, yeah, if I was a kind of a human animal hybrid and I was left alone, but maybe, I mean, I don't know what I'd do because I'm not in that situation. But I was like, I did feel a little bit of empathy until I realized what was happening. You know what I mean? When I looked at the premise for the story, I was like, oh man, that really sucks that they were left. And then of course the murderous rampage, then that empathy sort of dissipated. But yeah, an interesting.
Yeah, maybe I want to go on a murderous rampage. I feel like that's a little bit extreme, but I can understand them being a bit peeved off. I think that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.